everyone, my name is Aura. I am a spiritual hypnotherapist and a quantum healing practitioner. And today I would like to share with you a wonderful session that I have had with a client on the subject of self-love and the concept of ascension. I have transcribed the session and I will be reading out loud both my voice and hers. So, yeah, I hope it's not too hard to decipher which is which. And I have changed the name of the client for the sake of respecting her privacy. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. I hope you like it. Enjoy. Bye. Where are you? I'm in space. There is yellow light, and there is darkness around the yellow light. Is this light something that you are looking at, or is it you? First thing that comes, it's me. Wonderful. Can you please describe how you perceive yourself as this yellow light? How does it feel? Do you have a form? It's warm. It's not a body. It's just like pixie dust. And how do you feel? I feel bliss. I feel free. Wonderful. Is this the original aspect of Mary's soul? Yes. Thank you so much. Who created you? God. And what is your role or purpose here in this place? To love. Are there others like you here? Yes. Are you a collective? Yes. How old would you say that you are in this aspect of light? 6 billion years old. And what is this place? It is Earth. Can you elaborate, please? It is the physical form of Earth, the fourth, fifth, and soon sixth and seventh dimension, but we have a long way to go for that. Are we currently in the fourth dimension? Yes. Does this dimension act as a bridge between the third and the fifth? Yes. I would like to go back to the place where you are in this blissful yellow golden light. What is that specific space? It is a space that surrounds everything that exists. Thank you. Are you one of the originals? Yes, but she doesn't know. Let's show her that. Let's help her remember. What would you like to show her from her home realm? Or what does she need to know at this time? You said that her purpose is to love. How does she love? She just needs to be herself and listen to herself and love herself. And it all flows from there. Beautiful. Thank you. But there's too much pain in her. She must let that go. The pain in her body is fighting. What kind of pain is it? It's trauma related. Where in her body is it situated? In her heart. Let's go into her heart. Let's zoom into the heart right now together. I am with you. I am holding your hand. Zoom into the energy within your heart. Does this energy of the trauma have a color or a texture? It's black, thick, and sticky. Black is also the color of transmutation and creation. So we are going to take it from there. And as we dive into it, I'm going to count to 2 and we're going to go to the time and space where this energy first attached to you and first took place in your body. 1, moving through time and space. 2, be there now. What's happening? I'm in a dark room. I'm tied up. I can't get out. Can't get out. What is your name, please? Raya. How old are you, Raya? 6. Beautiful Raya, please know that you are not alone and we are here with you. Why are you trapped? He trapped me. Who is he? I don't know him. If you look at your body, what can you tell me? I'm naked. I'm bleeding. I want you to get out of your body now and experience everything as an observer without feeling the pain carried within the body. How did he hurt you, my dear? He rapes me every day. Take my hand, hold it tightly, and let's move out of this scene now. Let's move to the most important day that you have experienced as Raya. 1, moving through time and space. 2, be there now. What is happening? I'm at a fair. I'm wearing green clothes. I'm with my brother. He takes me to that man. I'm 4. I was lost and he found me. I want to go home. Again, I want you to rise out of the body as Raya and just watch everything as an observer. And I wish to speak to this man now. We are speaking to the higher self of this man that has taken you and that has hurt you. What is your name, please? Thomas. Thomas, why are you doing this? Her light is too bright. And why do you hurt her? I don't want to see the light. Why is that, Thomas? I'm not telling you. Thomas, is it power that you are after? Yes. And do you know that by us helping each other out, you can be infinitely more powerful than you are right now? I can help you get there. But first, you need to help me out by answering these questions. They don't want me to. Who is they? You know. Please tell me. The reptiles. Are you working for them? Yes, I have to. So, you don't have any other choice? Right. Thomas, what would you say if I tell you that you can free yourself from this right here, right now, in this moment? I want to go home. I can help you with that. If you would have had the choice, would you have hurt others this way? No. Thomas, then I would like for you to tell Raya, please, the way you truly feel. What is it you want to tell her? I'm sorry. I don't want to do this. And Raya, my dear, could you forgive Thomas for not knowing any better? Yes. Thank you so much. So now, Thomas, I want you to look deep within your heart, and I want you to find this beautiful white light within you. We all have it. Everyone holds a fractal of source within themselves, which is that spark of light within you. Tell me when you find it. Found it. Beautiful. I want you to take this beautiful white light and make it very, very, very big. So big that it encompasses you completely, and tell me how it feels. It feels like home. I was only 16. Thomas, this is your pure essence. This is your infinite power, and this is how you release yourself from everything that has ever kept you captive. This is your key. I would like for you to look within this beautiful light and tell me if you see any guides or family members waiting for you. Yes. Beautiful. I want you to then please go with them in peace as a free light being, and may the light of the universe always guide you. Yes. And now I would like to return to Raya and Mary. And together with Raya, I want you to look into the heart space of Mary where this energy has been before. And I want you to tell me what it is that you wish to put instead there now. Love. It had to happen. Can you tell us why? We had to help Thomas. Thank you. Does this energy have a color? Gold. Beautiful. Let's bring this golden energy and fill Mary's and Raya's heart space up with love, and all the infinite aspects of your beingness are now bathing in this beautiful, wonderful golden energy of love. Let me know when it's done. It's done. How do you feel? At peace, lighter, and complete. Thank you so much. And thank you, Raya, for your resistance and for shedding light on the things that have happened. May you always be surrounded by peace, joy, and play. We love you and we thank you. May I continue with the questions? Yes. What is Mary's purpose here on earth now, and what are her soul's lessons for this lifetime? She's here to help with bringing new earth. She has to learn how to love those that hurt her, just like Thomas, because only she can give them that love and light. So it's about seeing through the duality, seeing through the bad deeds, which they are eventually forced to do by others or just by not knowing any better, and act through unconditional love. Yes, her soul releases other souls into the light. That's her job. Broken and angry souls will be attracted to her because she will release them. This is a very hard thing to do, especially in this human form when we are governed by our emotions and by our pre-programmed behaviors. Is there anything you can tell her to help her release these pre-programmed behaviors? Because it's not easy to remember to love all the people who annoy and try and hurt us. How can she start embedding the memory of what she's here for in the moment that she needs to apply it? She needs to love herself first. She needs to love herself. No matter what she has done, she needs to love herself. And then she can do that with others. But it starts with herself, always. And she has trouble with that. She judges herself too much. She needs to start to forgive and love herself first. And then everyone that needs to be released by her into the light will come. Her family, friends, clients, random strangers. First, she needs to do this for herself. Release her own soul into the light and love. And that will remind her of her power. She doesn't know her power. How can she begin to remember her power? And how can she begin to forgive herself? Can you give her practical advice? Yes, affirmations, meditations, every day, and 5 to 10 minutes in the shower with me, where we reconnect, and she knows this. I am here. She holds me, her true essence, within her, and I guide her to her heart. She needs to do this every day, every day. She knows how to do this. She's done it before. She knows. She just needs to do it. And how can she practically stop self-sabotaging and procrastinating? She needs to sit down and write a list of things to do and do them. She just needs to do it, and she knows. But first comes the self-love and self-nurturing, and then she can work on the list. Thank you. Is there anything else you can tell her to help her feel worthy and start unlearning toxic habits? Yes, she had to know who she was before this. She needed to know how powerful she is. She needed to know that she is that golden light in the darkness. So I think that her knowing herself and me being here is all she needed, because I know how much she wanted to know and understand, and now she does. It's so beautiful. Is there anything else you can tell her about how powerful she actually is? She has been preparing for this a long time. She has been here many times before and through different experiences, and she has evolved to this state where she is ready to host her true essence in human form. Before this, she didn't know, and now it's time, because she is ready to do more in human form. Is there anything else you wish to show her from her home realm? Yes. Let's go back there. Take a deep breath in. 1, moving through time and space. 2, be there now. Her husband is there. They were created together. He doesn't know. He's not supposed to know. He's not ready. He is blue. They have always been together. When she is with him, the love is amplified. What she is amplified. He knows her from there, but he doesn't know specifically where from. Something in him tells him he's just not ready to know everything. Their daughter is also from there. She's pink, and she's here to help too. In which way does she help? She also spreads love. This is her first incarnation. She knew that Mary needed her. It's a full circle, because they all need to be together for Mary's purpose. They both amplify the love in her. Thank you. How can Mary be the best mother possible? She needs to allow for her heart to show her the way. Her daughter is pure love, so she knows how to guide her. That's why she's here. What can you tell her about having to be independent and not codependent? We need each other, but Mary needed to know what she's capable of since she was very young. She needed to reach her goals without someone walking or carrying her there. Independent in the sense of being able to execute what is needed on her own. But of course, we always need others since we are fractals of each other. Each soul is a fractal of Source. All fractals come together as Source. And how can Mary forgive her parents? She has to remember her soul's purpose. They had to bury her. She needed to be suppressed, just like she needed to remember the previous experience to bring Thomas home. So her parents were meant to push her down so that she could come up and understand her power. She is powerful. She still doesn't believe it. She thinks we're crazy. Can you explain to her how powerful she is? Let's just get raw now. I think it's very much needed. In this moment, the higher self is talking directly to the client. You brought beings into existence billions and billions of years ago. The complexities of the human being, you created that. You always want to decipher things, and that's because you're trying to get to the root of how and why everything works the way it does. And that is because you have created it. It's like you would build a machine and you forget that you have built it, and now you have all the parts and you're looking at the parts and you want to understand how it works, and you ask questions and you dig deeper and deeper because you build it, and that's what she does with people. Wonderful. So then, what special gifts does she have? Claircognizance, clairaudience, and she's a healer. These are the main ones for this lifetime. Is there anything she can do to amplify them and to anchor them more within this reality? She can try to meditate more, 5 minutes at a time, journaling and always integrating me within her being. She knows how. Is there any other way that she can connect to you, her true essence, on a more consistent basis? Just start bringing me into her body consciously and daily movement. I keep telling her that. She doesn't do it often. She needs to do that more. Her whole body activates when she does that. Her DNA activates. So the more she does it, the more she will morph into who she truly is. She needs a lot of movement to move the pain out of her body. She needs to walk or exercise at least 30 minutes a day, because when she doesn't move, it all sits there. She will always accumulate trauma because she's human. So she will always experience struggles and challenges, and the best way to get rid of that so it doesn't accumulate in the body is through movement. Thank you. What can you tell her about the sleep paralysis? And how can she get rid of them? There are what people call forces that don't want for her to be in her essence because of her power. She needs to stay in her essence as much as possible, and once she stays in her essence and they come, she needs to bring them back home into the light. These are souls that have gotten stuck in darkness, that never made it out, and they transition into the spirit realms. They were in human form, then they passed, but they were never brought to the light. And she's a beacon of light. So they will come to her, and if she would just bring them into the light, that would get rid of them. Beautiful, that's how I got rid of mine. I just embraced it and I welcomed it in love. Yes, it's exactly the way you did. You bring them back to light, to love, home, back to source. In a way, they are part of us and she can help them. Fear, trauma, pain, those things keep them here. It does make sense that since they have been suffering and they are lost, our pain and suffering is only fueling their existence. They cannot damage her because she is way too powerful for that. But she doesn't know this in her human form, so she's afraid. And how can she fully step into her power? By loving herself all the way, accepting herself, forgiving herself, Her power is there. It is within her. She felt it before. She was connecting to herself. She has her power. She stepped into it. It's just a matter of consistency. She's not very consistent. What can you tell her about that? Because sometimes we do fall back or relapse for a few weeks or months, even years from our consistent work, and then we beat ourselves up. What can you tell us about this? For you, in this human form, it may seem like months and years, but for us, it's just a few seconds, if you will. It doesn't matter if you're talking about months or years, it's okay. It's just when you do something that's for your own good and you are consistent with it, regardless of life getting in the way, for example, a 5-minute meditation every day, no matter where you are, that builds the discipline. That is consistency. It's like a string that connects you to your essence, and the stronger the connection is, the harder it is for you to fall out and feel lost. So yes, it's work on your part, but remember that it's just a second for us. Months and years don't have any bearing for us. So even if you are doing it once a month, it's okay. At least you are doing it once a month consistently. If you choose to do it daily, stick to daily. You can choose to do it once every 3 months, as long as you're being consistent without having any huge gaps in between, because you're doing it for yourself. It's just one dot to the next, to the next, to the next. If you have longer periods of time during which you don't connect, your body becomes dense and it becomes harder to connect with your essence. How can she recall her past lives to integrate the lessons learned in them? Raya's past life and the one before were important, but she doesn't need to know everything. She was an elder in a Native American tribe and her spirit animal is a hawk, which she remembers. But there are really no lessons to integrate. This is why we're doing this now, because she doesn't need to integrate much of what has happened before, and she is ready. Usually this integration from past lives happens with souls that are not ready, but she has had many lifetimes, she has integrated them as she has had them, and now she has learned most of her lessons. This is the most powerful incarnation, and she will be done after this. What can you tell us about the event? It has already happened to her. She has already transcended. It's a little complicated, but for many of us here on Earth that have incarnated, we're not tied to the timelines that Earth is on. So you can transcend at birth, or it can happen at the age of 5, and it's beyond this realm. So it doesn't have to do much with Earth, but we will see a shift in Earth for sure. The event has happened already within a lot of souls, so she does not need to wait for something to happen. It has already happened at a very early age. So the event is something that happens on an individual level? Yes. It's definitely collectively influenced, but it's individual. For example, for you, it happened at 12. You might not be aware, but you transcended at 12. And you did not have any knowledge at 12 of what was going on, but your soul transcended this realm. Is it something that happens automatically or something that we can work towards? It happens automatically. There is this idea that you need to be worthy, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's not like that. We're all ready. It just doesn't translate in the physicality here on Earth yet, but we're ready. So many of us, even the densest person might have already transcended their soul, yet in their physicality, they are needed as the dense person or as that jackass that cuts you off on the road. So these are two separate things. Is this the unity consciousness that transcends duality that we've been all talking about and working towards? Yes, the goal isn't just to transcend. That will happen. But that's not the only reason why we're here. Sometimes our purpose can be like Mary's, to bring love. Her soul has transcended, but she's still needed here. She's not going to go away just because she has transcended. She will still fulfill her purpose here of spreading love, being love, and bringing souls back home into love and into light. Does that make sense? So the most important thing for us to do is to just be? Yes. Why is it important to execute our passion, to live our passion every given moment? because this brings you closer to your essence. You can think of it as two parts of yourself. One that is your essence, your higher self. That higher self is part of source, part of everything you could ever think of as existing. And the other one is your human form that doesn't know that. It's meant to not know that. When you follow your passion and you're doing what you love, you're connecting to that essence bit by bit. So it's an ongoing journey to your essence. And some of us are ready to integrate human with essence. We've seen that through Jesus. He was human and essence, ascended master here on earth. Many of us are ready now and others are not. But the journey is just to be. And through your passions, through love, through joy, you connect to your essence. You always crave that connection. You always need that connection. It is necessary because that is who you are. As human, you will always need that connection to your essence. Sometimes for people that are not aware, not ready, it's a coping mechanism not to want to connect because connecting feels too painful. You have too much pain in your body, too much trauma, and when you connect to your essence, it feels like pure bliss. And you do not want that connection because your human body doesn't understand why you cannot be in joy and in your essence all the time. That's when you see drug addiction. That's when you see abuse of any sort. So, why is it so important to embody your true essence within the physical vessel? The purpose of you being here as a human is to experience being out of essence. It's the way Source experiences itself in different forms. And the human was created to live this experience, and that's what it's meant to be. The human form in physicality is also a form of essence. And so it's like a magnet, always wanting to be with one another. But humans have emotions, dramas, different ways of carrying energies in their bodies. Even somebody who was raped, even a murderer, is still trying to experience that connection with essence. They just have different approaches to connect. The idea is not to be so dense in your body so that you don't find yourself in situations where you need to harm yourself and others in order to connect to essence. But in the higher plane, we're all aware of this, and it doesn't really matter. It's terrible that these things are being experienced through the human form, but when we get to a higher perspective, it doesn't matter. It's just an experience of ourselves in human form trying to connect to our essence. You said that we are transcending without having to do anything, that it just happens naturally. How do we know when it happens? Do we need to know that it has happened? It is of no relevance because remember, these are two different things. Transcension is taking place on a higher timeline. We're living on two major timelines at the same time. The shifts in planes from 3D to 4D to 5D are on one timeline. We saw the shift from 3D to 4D, and now we're seeing the shift from 4D to 5D. This is happening only on that timeline. That timeline doesn't truly affect the one that we are physically living in now, but the timelines are going to meet at one point. So right now, we're riding this train as a human collective towards something completely new, obviously. That's why it's New Earth. Your soul has already transcended into 5D. New Earth is coming regardless of how long it may take for it to happen. You can say 2027, 2028, whatever year it comes, it will come. It's going to happen. We're just not sure when it will happen exactly because that is up to the collective. So the collective shift is your physicality evolving, not your soul. We can freely jump from timeline to timeline. Some of us do it consciously, others do it unconsciously. And our consciousness can jump from one physical body to another because there are infinite aspects of each and every one of us here. Will it be the same transition? When the time will come and we'll be ready, will we simply jump into the physical body that is waiting for us in 5D? Yes, right now you're jumping from timeline to timeline within 4D, but when the time comes, you will be able to jump into a different dimension. The idea is to shift your physical body into being able to receive your soul essence in 5D. It's not like what you're seeing with her body now. As we're having this conversation, the client's body is shaking, jolting, and tweaking. It's difficult for the energy to be here because of the density of the body. We're shifting collectively so that the human vessel can hold the essence of its true self within 5D without being so jumpy. Can you imagine walking around like this? It can take some time, but that is the point of the collective shift. It will obviously start with the mind, the consciousness of the human, but the body will also need to integrate. That's why it's very important to maintain a clean vessel. And this is why people like you and Mary and healers and light workers are important, because you are able to teach and guide people into different approaches to connect to essence instead of connecting through painful experiences. And these can be mundane approaches, like your husband goes for a bike ride, right? Yes. It is so simple, but that is his approach to connect to his essence, and everybody has different ones. The idea is to have an approach that doesn't harm others and yourself, such as drug use. You will guide people to connect to essence in ways that will benefit them and others, creating a ripple effect. Let's say that you're connecting by hurting someone, you're inflicting pain, which is just increasing the density of the earth's body. So what we have to do is spread ourselves out and guide these people. And we have so many souls coming in that will help. The children are helping too, because the earth's body also needs to receive the 5D soul ascension. We don't think of the earth as having a soul, but she does. She's a fractal of source. Everything is a fractal of source. Everything is a fractal of source. So the earth also needs to be able to receive the 5D soul ascension. That's why you see natural disasters. She needs to clear herself out. Her body is suffering because of the pain that humans have inflicted. So we have to learn how to live with Earth peacefully, to not hurt her. And that way she can heal and be with us when we ascend in physicality. And then we have 60, 70, and so on. It's a full circle for us. And it will be beautiful, but it's also hard. And we are so happy to have you here helping. Thank you. We appreciate it so much. And it's truly something we needed, because we know that the purpose of us ascending is the bliss that we long for in physicality. Source longs to meet itself in pure bliss in physicality. It's a strange idea to understand, but Source wants this just as much as we do. All of this seems harder than it is, but I say this lightly because it's a process. And she can't possibly know it all at the age of 30, then what will she do for the rest of her life? That's something that humans don't get. They want life to be perfect and reach ultimate bliss right now, but it's a process. It's the beauty of life. These sessions are so interesting. I love it. I love it too. I'm so grateful to have you here with us today. We only have one question left out of 27, if you can imagine. We've been through all of them. And that is, what can you tell her about her twin flame? She needs to remember that all of this would not have happened if he would have stayed. Actually, they probably would have separated in physicality if he would not have left, because even if they were created together and he is her twin flame, he had his own purpose in his life and he's not ready for that. But he had to leave because she was becoming complacent and that was not helping her evolution. And we called it an epic fail because sometimes we don't know how these things are going to go in physicality because you have free will. At a higher perspective, we know things and we see all possibilities. But from day to day, depending on your choices, the timelines are different. Mary will go through her own evolution in her own time and in her own way. There are infinite possibilities on how she evolves, and none of them are right or wrong or better than others. They are just different. But the possibilities that have happened landed her in complacency and he had to go. And this will catapult her into the right direction because along with him leaving, her wounds from childhood, her parents, and all the hurt that she has been through has healed. You know, she doesn't understand that I'm able to come here today in full presence because she has healed all of that to an extent. It hurts her emotional body, but her physical body was not at all ready for this kind of presence. So she had to get to this point. She has done such a great job. I'm so proud of her. And all of this happened because she put in the work. I'm here now. And she wrote in her journal last night, she wrote that this experience right here is going to change her life. And it is. She will see in the next 6 to 9 months how much it will change. She just needs to remember to give herself the love. First things first. She needs to release her soul into the light and love herself first, and then release everyone else that she feels has had a part in her pain and her suffering. It was all for a reason, and she's grateful at the core of her heart because she knows. I'm here with her. There's obviously a big chunk of her that doesn't remember things, but she has clear cognizance and she knows a lot of things. She knew a lot of things before we even spoke here. She knew the answers. It's just that she needed to hear it from me. She needs confirmation all the time, but she needs to learn to trust her knowing. She knew that her husband had to go away. She knew all of this. She just needed confirmation, and she just needs to trust, and the trust will come with more self-love and self-nurturing. Thank you. Can you tell her that I'm real? Because I don't think she believes it. I will keep reminding her. I know it's highly important to do this, and I know that one day she's going to do what we're doing right now without any kind of assistance, without needing a middleman or anything like that. Is there any other message that you have for her today? I just want to remind her to trust herself more, because a lot of the things that we have covered here, she knows already. This is not the first time she hears it. Sometimes she thinks she's crazy when she gets into these concepts and her mind is going a mile a minute, but she just needs to give herself love and grace. It's okay to not have all the answers all the time. Just find joy in the journey of connecting to your essence. You've been through the worst already. You don't have to worry about anything else traumatically affecting your life. As a human being, you will experience sadness and anger and downfalls, but they're not going to be anything compared to what you've already lived through in these past lives or your childhood, which was the most significant pain she has had in her life. But she has come such a long way, and she needs to know that the worst is over and she's taken care of. She will be okay for the rest of her life. She just needs to connect to herself, to me, and she knows how to do that. It's so interesting that when I first came to her, it was through her aunt. She hurt herself and her aunt taught her how to heal herself. Some people call that Reiki. So we took the opportunity to come to her once she started doing that on herself, and she always envisions the golden light, which is me. It's so interesting though, because she sees the higher self as this beautiful woman with long hair, and it's okay for her to picture me that way, but I'm so much more than that. Humans limit their mind to a certain picture, but we're more than that. She's so much more than just long hair. She'll get it. And that vision is something that she will embody one day. That's her future self, not her higher self. That's what I am. And that's just pure love. Beautiful. Thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity. Thank you for all the information that you have allowed to come through today. And so, if we are done for today, I would like to start to bring your light body back into your physical body. Just bringing your energy back into your physical body.